Sup nerds and welcome to Microtopia. This is a new factory sim game along the lines of Factorio or Satisfactory about robotic ants. Does that seem weird? That should seem weird. We're going to get right into it. We're going to call the world seed SimAnt, just the channel name, and species we can only do the one. We're going to do a quicker intro sequence as I played before, and we only have this starting biome. So let's get right into it. If you've ever played Factory Sims, you know how addictive these games can be. This is really a fresh take on things. We're not just building a smelter and everything, we are building a colony. So, we're going to find the queen. We're going to place her down somewhere nearby a lot of resources. We've got some food up here, some metal over here. Oh, I like this spot a lot, both food and metal. Queen needs food to make more ants, needs more metal to produce more things. So we'll have the queen just land right over there. Here she comes. So very robotic. You can see some of the sentry ants that come with her. These ants live forever. They are the starting basis of our colony. So it wants us to make 10 regular workers. To do that, we just build a few paths here. Ants can only walk along the trails we give them. So we need to make sure that they can get to valuable resources. I'm going to move this just a little. You can always just click and drag your paths, which is nice, and we'll get a couple ants working on that. At the same time, we need food, and in the short term, this right here is a great source of energy. We'll just put that there and get a couple other ants on a foraging trail. I guess I could have just done that differently, but we can, because this one's pretty short, we can just do this. Let's drag, can I just drag that please? Thank you. Just drag that like that, and we're getting both those now. And get the ant onto the foraging trail. This is how ants work in real life. They follow these little trails, which pheromones leave behind for them, and they just track them along. I'll grab this last sentry ant, put it also into getting food. Though I might start a second one over here. We'll see. Now that we have the food, we need to start producing more workers. The easiest way to do that is with an incubator. Let me find that. Here we go. And we're going very simple. If you've played a lot of these games, you know things always start a little sloppy, and then over time you start just cleaning them up. We don't really need two ants here. We're going to move on over to deal with the process of growing new ones. And since we've only got these ants right now, I'm going to go ahead and have this one extra from here. I mean, go drop your thing off real quick. So drop it off. Come on. Come on, my guy. There you go. And come over here. We'll just make another quick trail. You can put dispensers for all your storages, and you can put them basically wherever. So this is linked, but if I want to, I can put it all the way out here, so long as it's still on the same island. So you can avoid a lot of long supply chains that way. But we're just going to put it here for now. We're going to put it right here, and then just keep the trail going. We need to set up an actual full trail. So ants need to go on trails that connect back into themselves. They don't have logic to walk backwards along the trails. Yeah, picking up the food, feeding the queen. As the queen's fed, larvae are produced, which make new workers. We'll take this new worker, or a small worker, and we will connect that down here. Just to make a little trail that covers almost everything we'll need, and we'll make sure that if there's no ants doing anything else, they connect back into this foraging line. Eventually we'll fix this up to be a little different. For now, I want this worker to go here. You can see this one's joined onto the foraging trail, this one's now here. Here's another new little baby coming. So we can now start taking advantage of all this food as well. So I'm going to make a quick foraging route over here. With a little stock, or not an incubator, a little stockpile going right about, let's say, here. We just want to make sure that that's in range. We'll add a foraging node, you know, right there. Looks like that works. So we've got a few extra ants. We'll toss them in over here. What we should actually do is, for now, just connect that trail there, and we can steal off of that in the future. We can. Do we already have counter gates? We already have counter gates. Fantastic. So we'll put a counter gate there, one there, and one here. What counter gates do is you can tell them, hey, I only want at most 2 ants in this path. And then when ants hit a counter gate, if they can go through, if you aren't at the max, they will go through. If you are at the max, they will stop. So this one can get up to, I'm fine with 3 on this one. Expand that a little, make sure we're getting that. Pull this down, make sure we get some of these. And otherwise, they will not go there. You also can't, even when you're setting paths like this, walk ants through existing obstacles. They have to be able to route through properly. We're at our population limit, but that can grow if we continually feed the queen. So that's the goal right now, is get the queen fed. We're going to set this up to be 5 through that gate. Max population just jumped up to 25. So this way we can keep a steady stream of workers. These little ants do have a lifespan. It's 5 minutes at the start. There are ways we can expand that or keep them useful past that, and we will get into that next. So once we have all of our food needs taken care of, we're storing everything, we're throwing it in. In fact, let me take this stockpile real quick. God, this game is beautiful when you get a chance to really look at it. We'll just toss another dispenser onto this same line here. And drag that to make sure it's... Nope. We'll just finish up the trail, make sure it's connecting at a few points. Yeah, cool. Get you back on it. Remove that. Reconnect. There we go. So now it'll grab from either of these 2 stockpiles. With that in mind, that we're getting a little full of iron, we have some extra ants for our production. We should start smelting some of it. So we'll build a little industrial sector for our ants up here. At least the start of one. We'll get something more advanced in the future. For now, just get them going like this. And we will put our iron stockpile, put a dispenser right about here. Nope, that was wrong. If you mess up, if you put a building down, you can always just move it. It's a very forgiving game in that way. So now you see the flag, that means the dispenser is being picked up from. Probably should have put it before this, but we'll be putting more in that can use this, so really, actually, as I look at this, I think I'm going to move this a little. There will be better logic to use for this in the future. For now, I've landed on this. What we've got going on here is, actually, let's shift some of this a little like that. We have a divider here that's going to split the paths of these ants up and get them traveling along one to each of these smelters, and then only when they are done, something's up here. Yeah, only when they are done will they move on to drop the iron off. It's not perfect, obviously. We've still got some flaws, some hang-ups. It should be a little more evenly distributed, and that's not clocking in. Let's just pull that out a little more. There we go, all better. While this is happening, you might have noticed that sadly some ants have died. That's okay. Food continues to grow from these flowers as long as they're up. So while we're working, the queen is still hatching babies, and we now have the smelters running pretty close to full capacity, and everything's getting dropped off down here. So massive line. Next, we want to take this iron and make sure it's being used somewhere. My logic thinks we should be producing iron before spending it, so we can just go ahead and step out here a little more, and we'll make an industrial area here for making a workshop. The workshop can take iron and make multiple different products out of it. I'm going to set 2 to iron plates and 1 to screws. So we just go in here, screws, iron plate, iron plate. We bring our counter trail off using the same logic. I want to have about 5 ants down here working this section. I'm going to drag this trail a little further down and just do the same setup with dividers. So put in a divider there, there, there. Run a path between these spots. From this path, reconnect back up to the base point. And we are going to put in a little... You know what? Like that. Then we take this iron and we put our dispenser right here, where they'll all pass by, so that they're all sure to grab an iron and deliver it. Then we need to make a storage for each. Can I fit them in this? I think I can, just barely. So 1 for iron plates. And 1 for screws. Perfect. So, this will fill up with ants bringing or coming in, grabbing iron, dropping it off, and moving on with their finished products. You have a screw and you're not leaving. What's up with that? You have a screw, you're not leaving. There we go. And our ants are off, working proper jobs. While this is going on, we could actually be delivering a lot more to the queen. So I'm going to grab another counter here, attach it there, and we'll just make sure that we have 2 who are serving the queen at all times. Just double how much she's eating. We need to hold a moment to be... Oh no, we actually have enough. Okay. So we have our first combiner. What a combiner does, well, let me show you. We put our combiner up here, and I will show you why. We want to connect its output to our main line of ants coming out. And then in the back here, we're going to have a trail in time. That will make sense where that's coming from. That should end here. We'll eventually add more combiners along this way and extend it out, but for now that's good. And like I said, with stockpiles being able to dispense wherever, it's not too much of a stress to shift their gathering over there or whatever. We just have to account for that. We can also reconnect these dispensers to a different stockpile should we ever want to. We're getting so much energy. It's nice to see. We can produce. We've had this job up here for a long time. Produce 10 regular workers. These ones here are just small worker ants. But when they get aged, which some of them really are, we can try to get them over here into the combiner. Get one more. You're too close. You can go. I think you can make it. So let's watch them head over here. How long do you have? 14 seconds? Yeah, they'll make it. Move your little legs, guy. You can do it. You can do it. Except you went to the wrong one. Go up there. Nope. Someone messed up. That someone was me. Go there. That should get you up there. Okay. Now, in this, it's called a combiner. And you see combine workers. Out comes our new, larger worker ant, who has twice the lifespan and moves a little bit faster. So, as our ants age, we want to try to catch them in about this state and send them up to be recombined, repurposed. It's horrible, but it's a better fate than death. Maybe. And with their lifespan refreshing, this is just the most efficient usage of resources. And that's what this game is about more than anything. Efficiency. All these automated processes, these logic gates helping determine where everything should go, they're all to make for a more efficient colony in the long run. So, we're going to take a moment and just keep making more and more workers who are going to live longer and longer. With more ants heading toward the great ant farm upstate, and with the queen being fed so much, I've expanded out our incubators. We should be getting more of the little workers coming in pretty quickly. Keeping an eye out for elders, setting them up to be repurposed. Keep things efficient and moving. There's another one. Off you go. For a totally humane next step. We finished with our 10 workers. We have expanded out a little more as well. We're working on starting to harvest from these stockpiles up here. We need to find more things to do with our ants, which is great because we're about to start going into our development tree, which needs an inventor pad. Now, inventor pads are very special. At the moment, there's not a lot I can do with them in particular, so I'm going to just set a basic one up right here. If I had a way to specify just an inventor, I would put one there, but we'll make a special combiner just for these. We'll put it right here, and we'll connect these trails up like that, and we'll just... No, we don't want that yet. So, when workers get old, let's find one. Here's, 10 seconds, you're gone. When workers get old, we want to repurpose those as well. No sense letting good old bugs go to waste. Can I get all of you over here? Yes. How do we make use of them? And the answer is with an inventor. I'm just going to grab some decent, like, even though this one's got 5 minutes left. Sorry, man, you're going a specific way. We're going to put you there. And you're coming with me too. You're going to go there. So inventors... Oh, I got this backwards. Here we are, our very first inventor. We bring the inventor food, the inventor begins to invent and produces research, which is what this bulb in the back is. This is a bit like, I believe they're called honey farmer ants or honey ants. They do this, and when that bubble is ready to pop in this case, it should start glowing. They take 10 food, there we go. Inventor sadly dies, but we get our research. Can now unlock our first upgrade, which is a radar tower. And we also have 50 ants. And we can start working on things like the Old Gate and the Elder Trail. These are two things I absolutely want to get. They allow us to peel off old workers from existing trails and send them down the Elder Trail to be recombined. They will automate the process of me hunting for them, which is going to be nice. I would love if they could split up which kind of bug I was sending, but we'll get our combiners organized in such a way that it makes sense. Unlock radar technology in the development tree. We did that. We'll build the radar tower and make contact with another colony. We have plenty of resources to do that. We'll just stick that right here. Everything flows in, our radar unlocks, and we will make contact and find a new island. Because this is just one colony, we'll eventually want to grow and spread out to see the rest of this world. Back in we go. We can even see the mating swarm happening above us. There's a lot of drones that are just waiting for a queen. Let's grab the old bugs while we see them. Like I said, no sense letting good old bugs go to waste. Our first nuptial flight was finished, and the colony was visited by 398 drones, but we had no giants to fly out and meet them. Unfortunate, but this is the state of our colony at this point. 32 small worker ants repurposed, 112 have died. 2 workers have been repurposed, 6 have died. The 1 inventor died, but that's perfectly normal. Been thinking, I might as well just put the recombiner here, right into the main path that I've built here. And just, while grabbing old ants specifically is the most efficient, we have so many just wandering around doing nothing that I might as well throw them in. And since this is just a regular combiner, it will just combine any ants I walk by. Eventually we'll replace this with an elder path, but we can't do that yet. We can reveal a new island though. Let's see it. What's over here? A nice little desert island over here. If we zoom in, we can see it's got a ton of metal, some strange plants, rubble, things that might be useful for a mass global hive at some point. We can also see how widely we have spread already, which is honestly kind of impressive. So next, they want me to make something capable of flight. I would like to go into elder research first, so sorry, Instinct. I don't want to listen to you right now. A little bit of rearranging. We're now going to get worker ants being constantly made. Any extra workers that don't get assigned to something here are going to come here, eventually be turned into inventors, which then go into these 3. So we have a path all around our base now. Everything will get assigned out. There are probably better ways to do this, but at the moment, I'm pretty happy with this, honestly. We're grabbing most of the energy we can find on the island. I do need to send little groups out to grab like these clusters around and just keep working. Got that rerouted. In a case where I would run completely out of resources like iron that are just found on the map at various points, the correct thing to do is I can dismantle old buildings and figure out more efficient ways of doing things. There's our first automated inventor, filling right up, getting fed happily. Proof of concept is always nice. I want to expand this out to be a whole combiner farm, but for now we can see this worker's just going to go ahead and walk in and join its pals here since it didn't get assigned to anything. Boop. Boop, boop, boop. Need 50 for the old gate. I could get plant cutting. That is going to be very important, as are the Nolan main trail. I want the Elder Trail first. Sometimes it's just nice seeing things work. One last boop, and we have 50, which is enough to get our old gate. We've also upgraded 100 old ants so we can optimize life, which is nice. Oh no, we don't have that quite. We can work on that. We'll work on that. We will also work on getting the Elder Trails specifically, but for now we have our old gate. It's a very simple logic in the old gate. It asks one question: are you old? If so, then we send them to live in a farm upstate. So we take this, we bring it here, and we put it back on the main trail. And we want to put that here so that they are the first to upgrade, and we've already seen one filter out that way. Then we put another old gate here and cycle it back into the loop so that the olds will run around in a circle here and until they upgrade or, let's say, return to their natural state. Now I have to put old gates on, well, everything. Ideally, right after they've dropped off their resources. With our elders heading on to, let's call them grayer pastures. Don't worry, it's humane. We're going to see an uptick in efficiency just because none of the ants that are filling up these space are going to be around or are going to die anytime soon, so we can just keep pumping new ones out here again and again and again. And now we have a little place we can check to see to make sure we are combining enough ants. If there's ever a backlog, we throw in more combiners. That is a little bit of an issue right there, I'll admit, but I still want to be getting some young ants and just keep this active. I think. Actually, why would I? No. Okay, hang on. Glad I realized that. We'll just make this trail go through and have the reconnection be right here, as it should be. Yeah. This completely unnecessary connection now. Alright. So, we have an efficient colony. The layout could use some work, I fully admit, but we are producing materials, we are gathering a ton of energy, we are feeding the queen, producing more ants, and sending any that need encouragement off to, well, a much better life. Still seeing some die here. I think it's worth one more combiner. Set it right here. The trails are getting a little confused, but we can see the point here. The ants go down here, they keep passing through past various combiners, and eventually they'll find one to call their forever home. The research keeps on researching. Another boop. we get our Elder Trails. What Elder Trails allow us to do is build a trail that tells old ants they can go through, or that will make old ants move faster and young ants move slower. So let's upgrade these. Can I just draw it? Yes, I can. It also gives some much needed visual clarity. They're booking it now. Who knew that old ants were so spry? With a little more research, we find ourselves able to get plant cutting. We can now make a few new types of trails. The Knoll Trail will be our next upgrade, and eventually we'll be able to get the main trail, which is thicker. It's a good way to get ants back into action. That's going to be what we use for this big outside route. Sort of a highway around a city. That's going to cost us 100 though, so that will take a bit. In the meantime, we have a new function we need to take care of, which is plant cutting. So, let's get a route set up for that through this thick little forest here. A little zigzaggy, but that makes sure we're hitting everything, and we will put our stockpile right here. I just specify it to only accept something I can't tell it to because we don't have any yet. So, in order to get ants onto here, obviously, I'm going to need another counter. I think 5 on that trail seems right. Five seems right. And of course, the very important aging trail. That's not a good spot for it. It needs to be just after the stockpile, so we'll put it right here. And reconnect it up there. Perfect. So we're bringing in plant fiber. That's not what it accepts. Just need to get 10 for the next milestone. Our 10th has been deposited. So we go to research, collect the fiber, and we can now make fabric in a new workshop. So these ones are pretty dedicated to what they're dedicated to, and we've been building up a little bit of a stockpile of parts. Oh, this is empty. We will just relocate this whole apparatus. Hang on. Nice additional metal stockpile down here. We'll grab this, move it right about here, throw in a counter gate off of this pathway, and from there, pretty easy to just rebuild a little trail. Get this guy on there. We'll put 4 into this one, just based on the size of it. we go. So we actually have a lot of aged workers at a glance. A problem that's relatively easy to fix with another inventor section. And if that's happening, and these are already filling, it's time to make a couple more inventor pads and up our science. Isn't progress beautiful? I like this spot for a little fabric workshop. We'll put trail coming off of here. Sorry. We'll put a counter trail coming off of here. We'll put 3 workers on it. Seems about right. We finished our 100 ants and we now have a recycler which can recycle ants back into raw materials. I will consider that. That's... We'll take a look at what that can do in the future. We can unlock a carry gate as well, which lets ants enter based on what type of material they're carrying. I don't have any immediate use for that, but when I'm making a workplace or a workshop complex in the future, I can definitely see how controlling inputs like that will work. We can get glass, rubble, and scrap copper from some of the other islands and start working on more. By the way, the tech tree has some stuff. We have a long way to go. And there we go. Some ants who are just picking up some plant fiber, bringing it to the workshop, and we need to make some fabric off of each of these. Might as well seal it to be making fabric solo. It's interesting that it has some kind of smart detection for that. I will make use of that in the future, certainly. And of course, a highway to the farm. Also important for any new workshop. How's this doing? Still some dead bugs around, but I think it's going pretty okay. They're mostly full workers, so I could be getting... Oh, well, that doesn't help if I'm not paying attention up here, and my inventors aren't settling it. I could get some more food ants up there, so let's up this to... I think double it. Not 63, just 6. We just saw it happen up here. If an inventor dies while they're not full up, we still get any partial credit that they could give. So, hopefully that doesn't happen. I might want even more inventor lines, honestly, but I'm hoping that with the increased food delivery, these clear out a little faster. It is interesting noticing how much of my population has become full-on workers now. It makes sense. They live longer, their production removes some of the smaller ones, but I didn't expect to see the whole thing getting upgraded this quickly, honestly. Still, it's definitely happening faster than I'd planned. 102 research. We can get the main trail. Might as well grab that while we're on this path. I want to convert the outside of my base, the main path everyone uses, into a main trail. There we go. Just to make it a little easier for me to see, and for you to see. Nice and highway. Oop. Here's where the recycler can get some uses with these aging inventor ants if they happen. If I throw an old gate in here and run them like over to a recycler over here or something. It's a shame to lose them, but I'm just... I guess maybe even more food or more ants down here. So I get 9? We have our 20 fabric in the stockpile. We'll complete this. The assembler is a building that can upgrade ants into new casts by combining them with materials. That's what the recycler will be for. Unlock the assembler and build it. Well, how much is that going to be? Oh, only 10. Get digger ants and drones. Okay. What are they setting us to? Well, we'll build the assembler first. Okay, hook it up with fabric. Connect that right there. Done. Use the assembler to upgrade a worker into a drone. Alright, so we're going to connect the path like that. Change this into... I need to research drones first before it'll let me do that. Oh no, it's gonna be so hard to do that. I really love that shade of blue. We'll unlock drones. Also, we'll unlock cast gates. That's actually... I've been waiting for that. And 75 and... well, we have that. So, also the floral island scanner, which reveals a new island on the map. Looking for plants, and a facility, which is an upgraded workshop that's capable of producing goods that require 2 different types of material. Might as well unlock that as well, even though we're not really there yet. Diodes, resins. We need to find a jungle. So, a cascade would be an option, but we're going to have workers walk in this way, yeah. So let's watch this happen. A little worker guy comes in. He's having a good time. He's having a great time. And finished. We have a drone. So we need to use a launch pad and a landing pad to fly a drone to a new island. Where's that? Transport. Ah! Flying ants will fly to this if connected to a launch pad. We'll set a launch pad right here. Connect that drone there. Watch it go in. And head to the new island. Collect 10 pieces of scrap copper and place them in a drop stockpile. Okay. Oh, are these like remote flying workers? Hang on. Where's scrap copper? Here's some. So if I build transport a landing pad right here and another launch pad here. Okay, I can't build that yet, but I could do this. Wonder if drones can carry bugs too. I'll have to check that. If that's what's supposed to go on. Drone can do hauling, foraging, and flying, so yeah. We can assign this launch pad to this landing pad. Then we just need to... what do we need to do? Our drones are flying off, heading over. We've got our route here. We build a little stockpile right here where it's all done. And they should be coming in any moment now. Can we see them as they fly in? There they are! I'm hearing Wagner right now. Drones are landing and immediately beginning work basically as equivalent to a worker. Alright, so then we can use this to set up an outpost colony functionally. Well, with our ant colony now having spread to a new island and these delightful drones being here, this is as good a time as any to call it an episode. This is Microtopia. It's a brilliant game. There's so much more. If you'd enjoy watching this, I would love to make a series on this game. So please let me know with a like and comment. And thank you all for coming. Have a great rest of your day.